All right, so today we're discussing the power of why, and that's going to be very powerful as it pertains to committing to do a triathlon. I have Crystal here who has committed to doing a triathlon, and she has her own powerful why. Tell us, Crystal, what is your why?
What is my why for doing a triathlon? So I grew up in the 80s, and I was excessively overweight, and I didn't know back in that time how to exercise or eat right, and I've always wanted to be an athlete. But I quickly became very large, and I would go out for athletic sports and I would get kicked off the team. And I just wasn't fast enough. I wasn't strong enough. I couldn't run. When I was a teenager, my legs and my arms grew disproportionately to my body. And I still remember when I would run in PE class in high school, and I would dread like hills. And fast forward to just a few years ago, I was volunteering at an Ironman, and I was significantly overweight. I had been eating well and exercising for years, but I still had struggled with morbid obesity. And I got determined to figure out my morbid obesity. And then I was volunteering at an Ironman, and I saw these like really incredible people, and they inspired me. They were of all different sizes and shapes, and they were strong. And for the longest time, I think that my goal for doing the Ironman was to prove people wrong, because they always thought that my obesity was caused by my lack of motivation or my lack of discipline, or that I was lazy, or that I was just eating in excess. But I had always exercised, and I had always eaten well. And at first my why was that I was going to prove people wrong. And I was going to do an Ironman, and that was in 2016 that I developed that goal. And fast forward, I went to school for nutrition to figure out my morbid obesity, and then recently, a few years ago, was diagnosed with a condition called lipedema. And lipedema is a loose connective tissue disorder that makes your arms and legs grow disproportionately to the rest of your body. It's actually a fat disease. So I got a degree in nutrition, and I was determined to overcome my morbid obesity, and did. And I want to inspire other people and to be able to be athletic now, which was a dream that I wanted for so long, but really had struggled with. It's so powerful, Victor. That's my why. My why now is because I was almost immobile in 2022. My disease had progressed to where I was 5 degrees away from being dangerous to go up or down the stairs, because I had so much diseased tissue on my body. And I think that our bodies are phenomenal. I think that the ability of our body to run, to swim, to bike, to lift weights, to move is so taken for granted. And I never want to take my body for granted, Victor. Ever.
Oh, absolutely. The power of why. So we're back to when I first interviewed you, that you were interested in the Iron Edge program. You told me your story, and I knew that you had a powerful why. And that's what made my job a lot easier, because now that I know the powerful why, and that's what I want the message for our audience, is that if you have a good enough why, good of a reason, then you're unstoppable. You can do it. And I felt that every step of the way. Okay, then we can work together. You were very afraid of the water, and reminding yourself and reminding that the reason why you want to do this and why you're here at least made my job easier, and I'm sure it made you easy to commit. When did you feel like, okay, I'm committed, you told me you wanted to do an Ironman, and I felt the fact that you signed up for the program was your first step to, yes, I've got a good enough reason, I'm taking the plunge and I'm committing.
Yeah, so before meeting you, I was getting people telling me, because I had been training for the Ironman, I had 2 coaches prior to you. They were more virtual coaches, and they were different for each reason. But I had many people, because I had gotten so sore and so tired, tell me that it would be okay, Crystal, if you don't do this Ironman. And I almost was about to give up this dream of doing an Ironman, Victor. I don't know if I told you that. Because I was allowing myself permission to do that, because people were asking me why I was doing this, and I kind of was like, I don't know why, you know. And when you reached out to me in about 6 months ago, and I just knew, I had been hearing about Team Blaze, which is a triathlon group locally here in Spokane, Washington. People had told me before that there's this team triathlon team, and I'm like, whatever, you know, I like to work out on my own. I can do this on my own. I wasn't gonna hire another coach. I had already paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to these other two coaches. I knew how to exercise. I had exercised for years. I could have figured it out on my own as far as my workouts. But you reached out to me, and when you first reached out to me, I read the email. You asked me for a consultation, and we had a consultation, and you recapped everything in the email that I said, and I'm like, oh my God, this guy actually listens to me, because most people just pass that off. So when I got to you, I knew that I needed swimming help with open water. After my massive weight loss, I lost the ability to swim because of my muscle ratio to my fat was completely different. So I started to sink, and last year, before the Ironman that I signed up for that I pulled out of, I was terrified of the open water. And fast forward to starting to work with you, you took me out to the open water in Coeur d'Alene, and we just started swimming, and you gave me these teeny tiny little techniques, and I told you I didn't think that I was going to be able to even swim out to the dock and back, because I was still afraid of water and the depth of it and the color of it, and I thought that I was going to drown, and that fear was so real. But I felt safe with you. I felt that what you were telling me was not something that you would just tell everybody. And there was like this presence of you knowing that I could just lay in the water, just lay down. You said just lay down. It's just like you're sleeping, and then you're feel how, you're going to float, and then feel how easy it is for you to move through the water. So is that what your question was? Like when I felt comfortable? I don't think that I've ever felt uncomfortable with you. I have never. So I went from panicking in open water to not panicking at all, even on our first visit together.
So for someone, because one of the things that I run into a lot with runners especially, I will share with them that I do triathlons. And one of the things they often say is like, whoa, I wish I could do a triathlon, but I don't know how to swim. I don't know how to ride a bike. And I tell them I didn't either. I just started. What would you tell them if they're wanting to do this, but they're allowing the fear of learning to swim, or they think that they have to know how to swim in order to commit to a triathlon?
Consistency, you know, if it's a triathlon that you're going to want to do, I always say, Victor, that if you tell yourself you can do something, you can do it. And if you tell yourself you can't, you can't. So you tell yourself you can, and then you find somebody that believes in you as well. Like I said, the fears of open water, I think, is more mental anyways than physical a lot of the times, because we're not creatures of nature to where we're just naturally good swimmers. We have to learn how to do that. But I believe in you. I know for a fact you can learn to swim. And start small and build yourself up and stay consistent and keep showing up. I gotta tell you, I did a triathlon. I did my first Olympic triathlon 6 months after working with you, and I wasn't even going to sign up for that because I was so fearful of the water. So I want you to jump in and put your feet first, and you have to take those fears head on. Like when you address your fears, it's so powerful.
Yes, and I think that if I circle back to all those things you committed, you're consistent, you are wanting to do that. If we circle back to your why, even if you're not consciously reminded of that it's behind your head, that is the power, that is, you have enough reasons. And I knew that from interviewing from the first time, okay, she's got good reasons why she wants to do it. And I guess that is my message to audiences. Tap into the power of why. The power of why is it that you want to do this, and constantly remind yourself that you're going to do it, you're going to commit, you're going to get over your fears because you have a good reason to do it.
And you know, back in 2016, when I went and volunteered at that Ironman, every single person that was in Coeur d'Alene, that was on that bike ride, that was in that water, and that was running that track, they inspired me so much, Victor. And I wanted to be the one to inspire people like that. And that's my why. That's my why.
Awesome. Yeah. So what is your why? Please comment on in the space below. Tell us, what is your why? Write it down. And if you have more than why, some people have one big why, some people have 5. So write as many whys as you have. And that will propel you to commit and take those first steps to doing a triathlon.
Absolutely. Thanks, Victor.